Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood because she always wore a red hooded cloak that her grandmother had made for her. Everyone loved her for her kindness and cheerful smile. One day, her mother called her and said, "My dear, your grandmother is feeling unwell. Could you take this basket of fresh bread, honey, and fruit to her?" Little Red Riding Hood replied, "Of course, mother. I'll be careful." Her mother added, "Remember, don't talk to strangers and don't stop along the way." Little Red Riding Hood took the basket and started down the path through the forest toward her grandmother's house. As she walked, a sly wolf appeared. The wolf, pretending to be friendly, asked, "Hello, Little Red Riding Hood. Where are you going with that nice basket?" She innocently answered, "I'm going to my grandmother's house. She's not feeling well." Upon hearing this, the wolf thought, "What luck! I'll eat the grandmother first, then the little girl." He then suggested, "Why don't you pick some flowers for your grandmother? She would love them." Excited by the idea, Little Red Riding Hood started gathering flowers while the wolf quickly ran ahead to the grandmother's house. When the wolf arrived, he knocked on the door and imitated Little Red Riding Hood's voice. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I brought you some food." Believing it was her granddaughter, the grandmother replied, "Come in, dear." The wolf entered, jumped on the grandmother, and hid her in the closet. He then put on her nightgown and lay in bed, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived, she noticed that her grandmother looked strange. She approached and asked, "Grandmother, why are your eyes so big?" The wolf replied, "To see you better, my dear." Then she asked, "And why are your ears so big?" The wolf responded, "To hear you better." Finally, she asked, "And why are your teeth so big and sharp?" The wolf jumped out of bed and shouted, "To eat you better." At that moment, a hunter passing by heard the commotion and rushed into the house. He rescued Little Red Riding Hood and freed the grandmother from the closet. The hunter caught the wolf and tied him up. Little Red Riding Hood learned her lesson and promised never to talk to strangers again. She and her grandmother lived happily ever after.